This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weight. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
The Jason Walker Show, broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Here's Jason Walker.
Oh, I cannot wait for today. Today is going to be a great show. You know why? Because it's the one we're doing right now. Jason Walker Show. Presented by Capital Collision Center and inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave. We're going to talk to Sean Ryan coming up, the tech golf coach. Also going to talk to Sam Herder about Trey Lance of North Dakota State leaving early for the NFL. And does that level the playing field a little bit in FCS football? Or is NDSU still head and shoulders above the rest? On This Day in History coming up and a whole bunch more. You can listen on Podbean, Network One Sports. You can stream it video-wise on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and much more. All right. You can email anytime, Jason Walker Show, or jasonwalkersports@gmail.com. Tweet us, Facebook us, whatever. All right. We're going to start today, though, with our daily COVID update. 733 new cases reported today. Now, a bunch of that is coming in from Missoula because, as we told you yesterday, they're a little slow. But 733 new cases reported today. That gives us 5,352 active cases. 10,518 have recovered, 193 have died, 235 are currently in the hospital, 16,063 total. 1,137 Yellowstone County, 512 Cascade, 799 Flathead, 401 Missoula, 420 Glacier, 189 Lewis and Clark, 282 in Gallatin, 259 Roosevelt, 113 Hill. There's a whole bunch of counties in Montana that have double digits. And I think right now 2 counties that don't have an active case. I believe that's right. It appears as if Golden Valley and Garfield do not have active cases. But, all right, so there's that. Our COVID update. Okay, yesterday, we started the show talking about COVID. We started the show talking about selfish parents. And since it's only parents that are allowed to attend games, yeah. Now, the only thing I will say is that my comments yesterday were not directed at all parents. Just that small, select group that has caused issues, not only on September 14th, but also September 28th. That complaints were logged to the Lewis and Clark County Health Department that then told Tim McMahon that those efforts that he is doing, along with other administrators, and let me just read you Tim McMahon's quote again, or first paragraph, or one of his paragraphs again from yesterday's letter that he had sent to coaches that came from the order of corrective action served to him by a member of Helena Police Department from the county health department. Okay? Over the last 5 weeks of events, and this is quoting Tim McMahon, I and other administrators have consistently worked our way through spectator groups requesting that they put masks in place and socially distance. These efforts occurred during competitions and included both our hometown spectators and visiting spectators. I've also reminded visiting teams and our own teams to comply with our process. In a conversation I had last week with a member of the county health department, I was told that my efforts to remind those in attendance of our rules were in fact proof that spectators were not following the rules on their own. Now, again, this isn't all parents. It's a small minority. And I'll use the analogy I did with a friend of mine today when we talked about this. You can't lump all parents into the same category because of a group of idiots that aren't paying attention to the rules. And the analogy is, well, you can't say all cops are bad because a couple of them kill black guys. See where we're going with that? Okay? That's the analogy. And it makes complete sense. So Tim McMahon told the coaches to remind the parents to stop being morons. Now, he's not going to single anybody out, nor am I. I could, but I won't. And all I said yesterday was, look, in August, we had parents say that they would literally do anything, and if that meant not attending games in person so that their kids could have a season. Correct? Correct. And then when the order came out that, okay, the kids are going to get to play, but parents can't go. Damn it, that's not fair. We can't do that. We have to be there. And then it came out that 2 parents were going to be allowed to go. You get 2 passes per individual in uniform. That's not enough either. So yeah, I did call parents whiny. I did call you jacks or jerks because you aren't paying attention to the rules. Again, not all, a slight few. You have 2 rules to follow. 2. Wear a mask and social distance. That's it. That's it. We're going to talk more about this here in a second, but I want to bring in a guest. She messaged me and asked if she could come on the show, and I said absolutely. And by the way, you're more than welcome to come on this show. The phone number's on the Facebook page. You can tweet us, but don't be a keyboard warrior. If you want to talk and debate, come on the show. And that's what this next person is doing. She is the cheer coach at Capitol High. Her name is Sue Halsbannon. And Sue, how are you?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm great as well. And it seems to me that the only parents I've pissed off since August are Capitol parents. And I know you're not pissed, but thank you for reaching out and thank you for being more than a keyboard warrior and coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Take me through what you wanted to talk about because you have a different perspective as a cheer coach.
My perspective is such that I'm going to kind of go back and forth because I can see both sides of the story, which I think makes my perspective unique. Because I don't have kids playing, but I have a team playing. You know, all summer, anxiety building that are cheerleaders, or are they spectators? Are they going to be able to be there? So that was my worry. Mm-hmm. And Tim was very refreshing, letting me know that if we play football, that you will have cheerleaders there. And he was a man of his word for me, and I appreciated that. And, you know, he's my boss, but I don't necessarily drink the school district water. Everybody knows that. I kind of march to my own drum. But you're right. People said, just let the kids play, let the kids play. So then they let the kids play. That is Tim's responsibility. That is his role, and that is what he was charged with, is to make sure the events happen. And I don't know what people, I feel like he's doing what he can do to make the events happen. Already in a couple weeks, some of the sub-varsity volleyball teams aren't playing, traveling because there's so many COVID things. So think about those kids. The varsity kids are going to keep playing. But if people keep not doing what they're supposed to be doing, we're not going to have playoff football. We're not going to have playoff volleyball. Now, that being said, I've been to the home volleyball games and I've been to the home football games where Capitol is the home team. And honestly, it's like 99.99% compliance. So when the part that upset me was this quote unquote anonymous complaint. So if I complain to the police, anonymous complaint, somebody was being mean to me, they're going to look at me and say, nah. I don't understand why the health department has to acknowledge that anonymous complaint. Tim's right. He does have to remind people My cheerleaders have to remind me, Sue, pull your mask up. I don't take it off, but sometimes I drop it down. So my glasses are fogging up, or I'm yakking to somebody, or I can't hear somebody. So, occasionally it drops. But part of that is, we're not all, we haven't spent the last 30 years understanding how to, live our lives with these masks. So it's kind of a work in progress. I believe I walk the stands. My cheerleaders, like the other sports, they have to wear their masks the whole time. When they got to go out on the football field last Friday and do a little halftime routine, they were able to drop their masks, but otherwise they're kicking and jumping and doing all their stuff. If they can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm just trying to figure out why all of a sudden nobody is nice to anybody and nobody is treating anybody nice anymore. If the ultimate goal was to let us play and let the kids play, why does it have to be this giant tug of war every week? And that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm sorry, I kind of rambled on.
No, I appreciate it, Sue, and I appreciate you calling in. And I know there's a volleyball match tonight, and I might try to go. Look, I haven't been to many high school events since I moved here, and I was the voice of Helena High. Then I started calling Carroll games, so it was hard for me to get to games, high school, unless it was during the week. But here's my big thing is, look, I'll apologize to the parents that are upset of my words. And again, I didn't mean all parents. Like you said, it's a very small percentage. But when Tim McMahon points out in his own letter that he has to see if we can hold and accept this, and I think we'll keep Sue on too. But hang on a second before you start talking. But here's the thing: is again, he's working through the stands, and the county has told him this. And people are saying anonymous, but it's actually not. People aren't saying their names, correct? But there are dates: September 14th, September 28th. We know about the governor's family. And so if you get disconnected, I apologize. Trying to run this by myself with one person is fun. But I appreciate the outlook from Sue, the cheer coach over at Capitol. All right. Who do we got? Who's on the phone right now?
So, Jason, this is Jamie Bright.
Hey,
I'm
Jamie.
a Capitol High football mom and a son cheer mom.
Right. So you know Sue, and again, Sue, if we've hung up on you, I apologize. I'm trying to figure, like I said, I'm trying to figure this out. All right, Jamie, you had a very well written rebuttal to me today, and on the Facebook, basically to paraphrase, I'm disappointed, I'm frustrated by your words. The discussion yesterday about selfish parents, yes, my words. Look, I get Jamie and Amy that wrote as well. Well, first I'll let you go. And then, I appreciate you being friendly about this.
Well, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. And my words on Facebook are probably going to be a little bit more eloquent than the spoken word. When you have a chance to
it always is.
backspace and correct your words, it's a little bit easier. But, first and foremost, I want to recognize that Sue has been an amazing advocate for our children. Getting us where we are at today wouldn't happen without coaches like Sue. They're fighting every day just to keep our kids out there too. And if it means that they have to remind the kids once in a while or remind themselves to put their masks on, they're doing that. They're putting the hard work in. And to the point, what triggered me the most, Jason, was when you had mentioned selfish parents. And I think just being in the role of a parent, I could be called anything, a million different things. But by right, as a parent, you just lose the opportunity to be selfish, period. So, I think that got my attention right away.
Well, and I have two older kids and a 2-year-old, so I completely understand what it's like to be a parent, and you do anything for your kids. I get that. My part, Jamie, about being selfish in all of this is we had parents tell me socially, both publicly and privately in August, if it means that the kids get to have a season and I can't be there, I'm okay with it. But then as soon as that was issued, as that the order, then parents lost their minds in collective, not all, but a certain group. And yes, they'll let us watch, the petitions across the state. It wasn't just in Helena, but
right.
you
And I hear
couldn't have
exactly
it
what you're
both ways.
saying.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying is you can't say, look, I won't go if that's what it means. And then when that is the order, and then get upset about not being able to go, and then get more upset when, okay, now we allow 2 passes. Well, why can't we just have more? Look, there's no right answer in all of this.
Right. And I'm not going to argue with some parents who did say that. I did hear it myself as well. But as a mom of a son who has been injured on the field, you know, when they get a serious injury out there, the first thing that happens is trainers and coaches go out and see. But then the next thing that happens is my kid said, "Where's my mom?"
Right.
So I wasn't in the group of parents that said, you know, my kid can play a high intensity contact sport without me present. No, I was in the group of let them play, let us watch from day one.
Well, see, if you go back and listen to my shows in August and September, I said that. If I'm a parent of a child playing, I understand that fear of if they're playing in Billings or they're playing in Kalispell and I can't be there and my kid gets hurt, that's going to suck because who's going to be there for my child? So I was on your side from day one on that. And Jamie, for the most part, and Amy as well, and everybody else, I'm more on the kid side than anything. I want the kids to have a season. And
right. And we're thankful that we've gotten this far. And I know every minute is borrowed time, and it's sad that in this world that just having them play game to game to game is borrowed time. That's not how life should be for anybody right now, and it's not for any of them. But to add the stress of not having mom, dad there, or making the decision, mom gets to go, but stepmom doesn't get to go.
Right.
Those are not fair decisions for our children to be making, and it's fragile for them already. So.
No, and I understand that.
Also, I wanted to just touch a little bit on the topic of the anonymous complaints. There are plenty of people in this community that have been fighting us moms moms and dads who want to be there watching our kids. They're fighting to get sports shut down. So these people, who's to say they're not just making these calls saying that they witnessed something?
Well, I'm going to remind you of, and again, I read this at the beginning of the show. This is Tim McMahon's comments. In his letter yesterday, he said that he and other administrators have consistently worked through the spectator groups requesting they put masks in place and socially distance. And then the health department told him those efforts are in fact proof that spectators are not following the rules. Now, again, it might be 0.001%, but it's that 0.001%, Jamie, that is going to ruin it for the kids. And that's what I don't want to see.
Right, Jason, and I appreciate that. And don't think that I haven't kept my eyes on Tim at every one of these events. I pick him out first and foremost. I watch where he's going. I watch the actions of the parents as he walks by. And when he walks the stands, I have, and I'm not going to lie, I have seen him have to address 1 or 2 parents and say, hey, put your mask on. You know, I don't think that any of these parents are doing it because they don't want to be there watching their kids. I did see one dad sitting right in front of me. He took it down to take a drink of his water, forgot to put it on. I watched the dad at crosstown volleyball across the gym. Every time he needed to unlock his phone, pulled his mask off because he didn't know how to type in the code. So, you know, these things are happening.
Sorry, that's funny because I do the same thing.
Yeah, and if they are there with their mask on and they forget to pull it back up, the case in point is they're there trying to do the right thing.
Right. No, and those are the haven't ones that haven't been kicked out yet, though, Jamie. And Tim has said multiple times to a few people that I know that he's kicked out 6 to 7 to 8 people. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot with everything that's been going on, soccer, cross country, football, you know, at all the levels, and volleyball, all the levels. But you still have to me, the whole thing yesterday was, and that, again, it's that small percentage of parents. You have 2 rules to follow. That's it. They're not asking you to, you know, stay at home. They're not and yes, should all the parents be able to go? Should all the fans be able to go? Should the students be able to go? Yes. But again, there's not one of us alive right now that has worked through a pandemic like this. And so everybody's trying to figure it out.
True. That's so true. And, you know, I hate to monopolize your showtime here, but I
invited you on,
the opportunity to get on here to speak. Yeah, and I didn't want to be called a keyboard warrior because that's absolutely not who I am, and I will stand up for my child until the day I can't.
Right. No, and I appreciate your time, Jamie. And I said at the beginning, I'll apologize to all parents, not just that specific group that should have been called out. And it's a blanket statement. It's not, I'm not directing that at every single parent. You know, the funny thing to me though, is through all of this since March, is the only upset parents are the Capital parents. What have I done to Capital parents? Helena High parents never complain.
I don't know if it's because you've done anything to us. I think we're very passionate about our children.
No, and so are the Bengals. I get it, but it's
right.
just.
And we have a really tight knit group, and we're working with a Bengal mom as well, and they are passionate also.
Right.
And you poke the wrong bear when you start messing with moms.
No, trust me. I know. Like I said, I've got 3 kids, and it's fun to deal with the moms. And I got a mom of my own, so I completely understand. Jamie, appreciate the call, and keep up the good work. And again, I hope the best. For me, it's all about the kids. And this sounds bad, but I don't care about the parents. I care about the kids getting to play a sport. And that, for me, then gives me content to talk about on my show.
Right. And I understand that. And caring about the kids means also caring about their support network who's got them where they are.
I get that. I had a son play football, and I wasn't able to go to many of his games because of my job, because I was either on the road or he was on the road, and I couldn't because I was doing Carroll games. So that sucked. Now, thankfully, he wasn't very good, and he only got into 1 varsity game, so I really didn't miss anything anyway. But but I wanted to be there, So I get where you guys are as parents are coming from, and again, it's not all parents that my anger is directed at. It's just that it's the ones that are doing the ruining of this.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, and I follow. I absolutely follow.
Appreciate the call.
Well.
And
all right, well, thank you for the opportunity.
Travel safe to Missoula this week.
Thank you. And hey, guess what? I don't need to stand on scaffolding this time.
There you go. You get to go.
Have worked, and we get to sit in the stands. That 1 foot boundary exception where I could touch the bleachers before with my fingers, but man, that magic fence kept that safe. So we're on the inside of it. All right, take care, Jason.
Yep, have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, so Sue, are you still there? I don't know if Sue's still there. I don't know. Sue still there? Nope, I think she hung up too. All right, so there you go. And I'm okay. If you want to call, see, that's how this works. Appreciate Jamie calling in. Appreciate Sue calling in. This is how this works. Great discussions. Is this Sue still? Hello, Jason Walker Show. Oh, hold on. I got to do this. There we're back on.
Oh, gosh. Great. Here we go.
All right. Sorry, Sue.
That's all right.
Okay. So I got to get to break, but I appreciate you joining us, and I apologize. Trying to figure out, because I do everything through my cell phone, so now everybody has my cell phone number, which is fine. Just don't call me at 2 a.m. unless you need a ride home, and then I'll come get you.
Fair enough.
But you sat there on hold and listened to Jamie, and again, I think that's that's it. I mean, it's not all parents, but it's a small group that are causing problems. And I say parents because those are the ones that are allowed to be in the stands.
Yeah, it's sad. It is sad. I like what she said though about how you take a drink of water and sometimes you forget to pull your mask up, and then right then Tim walks by, And it happens. I'm sure it happens to me. Somebody commented that said, well, if he kicks anybody out, I don't think that's his intention to kick anybody out, but that might be what he has to do now,
Well, and I know, like I said, he's kicked out less than a dozen people this year from games that I know of, because he's told me on the show. But he first gives a warning, basically, like, hey, please put your mask back on. And if you don't, then you're going to get in trouble. Like, you have 2 rules to follow. That's what my whole point was yesterday and today is wear a mask and social distance.
Exactly. 2 rules.
It's not that hard. They're not asking you to solve complex, algebra.
Nope, not yet. No.
Maybe that's what we have to you have to answer calculus questions to get into the gate from now on. How's that?
Yeah, I'll send Josh your way because I know I can't.
Hey, Sue, I appreciate it. Have fun tonight and keep up the good work, and keep everybody on the playing field, and keep everybody following rules, will you?
I will. Oh, yeah, that's me, the rule follower.
There you go. Hey, and by the way, I know you didn't get a chance to talk, but our best to your husband. I know your husband very well, so he's been, quarantined for 2 weeks, so hoping...
Yeah, today's the last day. Thank heaven. Thank heaven. I think he planned it, though, because all of a sudden the day he gets quarantined, it's 8 hours of baseball, or 8 games.
There you go. Well, yeah, he's not dumb, and nobody said he was a dumb guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he married you, for crying out loud. He's got to be pretty smart.
Exactly. Thank you.
Hey, appreciate it. Have fun tonight, and I'm glad he's doing better. So.
Yeah, he's doing great. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks,
Awesome.
Sue.
Take care.
Yep, that is Sue Hallsbannon, the cheer coach at Capitol. All right, we went a little long in that first segment. If you want to keep the calls coming in, please do. We are going to be using the phone to call our first guest, though, coming up. His name is Sean Ryan. He is the tech coach. We'll talk more about this coming up on the show and much more. Jason Walker Show coming right back. Sean Ryan, Capitol Collision Center.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capitol Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capitol Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capitol Collision Center on Euclid.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918. Or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show. We will continue our discussion on Helena and parents and all that coming up a little bit later on. Also, Sam Herder set to join us. Trey Lance from North Dakota State announcing he's headed to the NFL after one season and one game. So we'll talk to Sam about that. And again, if you want to call in and you can. Phone number's on the website, Facebook. But just wait until we get done talking to our first guest on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. His name is Sean Ryan. He is the golf coach at Montana Tech, and he is this your second start of the second full season?
Yeah, this is second full season under the belt.
All right. Well, technically, because you still have a spring season, right?
Yeah. So I took over in the fall of.
Last year.
Of 19.
Yeah. So this you're in your second year.
No, spring of 19. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, spring of 19 and then fall of 19 and now it's fall of 20 and I know where I'm at now.
I have no idea, so I'm glad you do. Sean Ryan joining us. He is the Montana Tech golf coach, doing a great job down there, and really a successful fall season, which we'll just jump right into it because the guys go out and just win the Frontier for the first time. Is it in history?
Yeah, this would be the first time ever. There was a Tech, I think, club team back in 1977 that won the conference tournament. But this is the first time we've captured that regular season title. That
is awesome. Congrats. And you've got some great guys. And you and I talked last spring because that's when we really noticed the guys come out and play so well. Yeah, wasn't it last year? Last spring?
Yeah, it was. I don't know.
Didn't you have somebody go to nationals in the spring, or was that 2 years ago?
That would have been last year, and then we got canceled in the spring.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. So you're in your third year.
Second year, because I was just interim.
Oh, that's right.
The spring of whenever.
So 2 springs ago, you sent somebody to Sean Benson went to nationals, right?
Yep. Sean Benson won the conference and went to nationals.
Okay. Nobody won it last year because it was all canceled and COVID, and there was no nationals. Now you've won. Mm-hmm. Now your team gets to go to nationals in May, right?
So we've won the regular season title.
But you still got to go win the conference title. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Can we just have one full season? Can we not have a fall and a spring anymore, please? Good Lord.
I know. It's a confusing, it's a weird sport, and everybody goes, well, do you play in the fall or the spring? And I go, well,
yes.
We kind of play in both. So.
Okay. Now that we know what the hell Jason's talking about, let's figure out what Sean's going to say, which is a lot smarter than me because he went to Tech. Okay. Now we're settled. So the guys had a great season. Is Benson still there? Did he graduate?
He graduated. Sean graduated. Now he's doing some mechanical engineering over in Billings and starting his professional career.
So he's paying his loans back, which is good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That guy was a pretty good golfer. I don't think he had many if I scholarshiped him right.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah, no, he's moved on. But I mean, he was one of the first guys to text me when we won the Tech invite this year, and that's kind of the fun part is. Growing the alumni base of talented golfers and having people be excited for the program.
Ramsbacher.
Sean Ramsbacher.
He's still there.
He is here now.
Nice. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I got one right.
Yep. We just have too many Seans on the program. I won't recruit another Sean.
I think you should. Whoever's calling in right now, you got to wait until we're done talking with Sean Ryan here. So I'm going to just put you on there. So I still got... Did I hang up on Sean? I did. Hey, you have to call back when we're done talking to Sean, okay? Can we do that? Sorry about that. Call back when we get our next segment. Okay. I have no idea what's going on. Like I said, trying to push buttons and do a show. This is why I need
Hey, Jason.
Sorry, man. I hung up on the wrong person.
If only that was the first time I'd been told that.
No, it's true though. Hey, at least it wasn't a girl hanging up on you.
Yep.
Which wouldn't have, that's probably happened a bunch in your life.
Now it happens with my wife.
You did get married. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That is official. Thanks for the non-invite. I wouldn't have been able to go anyway.
Yeah, it was.
Was it a COVID wedding?
It was kind of a quick. I think I did it on my lunch hour, which is fun. I'm super, super romantic. The day before St. Pat's, we ran down to the courthouse and, paid the fee, and yeah, it's been great.
There you go. There you go. All right. So we're talking about Sean Ramsbacher and the great fall he had.
Yeah. So Sean Ramsbacher was one of 5 guys on the squad that ended up making all conference. He ended up second in the Player of the Year race. And then you've also got, Trey Hoagland and Isaiah Weldon, a couple of Butte kids. They both tied for third, so their first team all conference in the Frontier. And then Brady Cady and Jace Rhodes, both freshmen for me, rounding out that second team all conference. So pretty awesome fall for the boys.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And now you got to go to Phoenix in the fall or in the spring. Whenever the championships are, April, and back it up. But hopefully that gets to happen. All right, the girls didn't get it done as a team, but 3 all-conference members, which is still pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was a great fall. I mean, probably the best fall we've had on our ladies' side, I think, maybe ever. Tana Campbell was our senior, and she led the way. She finished as a first-team all-conference performer. And then Skylar Martin and Rayla Williams both rounding out that second team all conference. And this is a ladies team that, we're focusing on for the next couple of years, recruiting for depth because, we were just 1 or 2 scores away from really factoring into that Frontier Conference, into winning some individual tournaments. So we laid the foundation this year, which is really strong, and now we just got to add a little bit more depth, kind of like the guys side has.
And you, of course, getting Rayla Williams, and now I'm not sure if this is if you can talk about it, but I can say Lauren, younger sister, is going to be going, and Lauren just finished as an all-stater. I think she took 11th at state on state AA this year.
Yeah, that was a great message I got from her a couple days ago, saying that she wanted to be a digger. Those are moments that you really appreciate when you go through that recruiting process, is when a kid, decides to change, or to decide to make up their mind and choose where they're going to go to school and where they're going to compete.
Well, and didn't hurt that her sister's there.
Well, that was almost like I was like, hey, I promise to not like make you guys spend a ton of time together, because I don't know if you fight like sisters or you love each other like sisters, but no, it was great, and I think part of what we offer, recruiting wise, is get to bring kids onto campus and show them all the great things that we have to offer here at Montana Tech. She's interested in going into biology and into medicine, and Lauren, we took her into the cadaver lab, and that was terrifying. Like, yours truly was shaking, going, I don't need to be here, do I? Like, I can step out in the hallway, but it was really awesome. Great for our faculty and staff to put that on, so that the kids really get to see how hands-on of education you can get at Montana Tech.
You are one of those that has that education. You're a good golfer in your own right. But what's the recruiting process like? Because now you don't have LC State to deal with, and we know how good their men and women were golf. But you still have to deal with Rocky. You still have to, well, not this year. You didn't get to deal with Providence because of that situation, but normally they have a decent team. Carroll has a decent team sometimes. But what's the recruiting process like now? Because, like I said, you're recruiting less against LC State and then now more against the Montana schools.
I think the bread and butter for us as a program, and kind of what we started with at the beginning, is making sure that we recruit Montana well. The student athletes that come out of this state and come to a public institution like Montana Tech is, they have a great opportunity to come out of school debt-free. Those are all things that mom and dad especially like to hear. Get great job placement and all of those things. But then we really, I really try and keep a close eye on all the talent in the state of Montana. Got pretty good relationships with all the golf professionals and the golf coaches around the state, and that always helps,
Sure.
Being pretty in tune with who's going to be a junior, who's going to be a senior, and what their golf game looks like, and are they good golfers, but are they good people? And that's probably the thing I focus on the most.
Sean Ryan, our guest here, Jason Walker Show, the Tech golf coach. There are some great golfers in the state of Montana, and I'm telling you that it's I see them out at the country club here in town, and when I'm out there golfing, just the talent just in Helena. But then you branch out. I mean, it's a who's who when you go Class AA and A just this year. You got a freshman winning the AA like last year with the Verge kid. But the unbelievable talent in the AA and the A, and we haven't even got to the Bs yet.
Right, and that's the thing that you got to be. The hardest part about recruiting in the state of Montana is, unlike every other sport, there isn't a roster, right? Like, people don't publish what year a kid is. So it's a little bit of deep diving and figuring out, putting a name to the face, figuring out where they are, as a student athlete, eligibility wise, things like that. But it's crazy how much talent comes out of the state of Montana. My whole roster is kids from inside the state, which is something that I love to tout, to say, not only do we recruit the best, but now we're successful with the best from in-state, because that's what it should be, right? If we're Montana's technological university, we should be winning conference championships with Montana's kids.
I like that. Okay, so like the best of the best. Who were the kids the last couple of years that they're down in like Arizona? Those type of kids, those are untouchable. They're going to D1 no matter what. But when you're looking at recruiting kids in the state of Montana, and I'll bring up Justice and Jordan Verge down at Gallatin High. These kids are probably going D1. Do you even try to recruit those type of kids? or do you give it a shot?
I think it starts mostly with building the relationships with their coaches. And you run into those kids and you see those kids at events. But a lot of it has to do with what their intentions are, right? If your intention is to go D1, I say more power to you.
Right.
But if your intention is to realize that golf isn't going to pay the bills the rest of your life, then that's where I can factor in, and Montana Tech can factor in. It's a lot about relationships. I mean, we've got some kids on our roster now that I think probably could be Division I. I think Sean Ramsbacher has that ability. But it's, he found a better fit. He wanted to major in mechanical engineering, and this is the place to be.
That definitely plays into it.
That's how it factors in.
Yeah.
The kid wants to, kids want to do something else, and I say, okay, all right, more power to you. Good luck. But it's about trying to find the right fit, whether it be academically, through sport, or even just socially. Right? Is Butte the right town for you?
And for some, it's not, because we know Butte's reputation.
Yeah, well, and I think we like to keep that reputation because it keeps the yahoos away.
There you go. I like that.
It's the best kept secret. If I just shut my mouth, people would flock here. But
I love Butte. I love the history of Butte. It's just Butte was my natural rival for Bozeman growing up because we didn't have anything else. So.
Right. Everybody loves to hate Butte, and I think it's my job to have the kids that are a little apprehensive about Butte, to bring them here, to show them what it's all about, and say, man, I made the best decision of my life to come here, whenever I first showed up.
So, which seems like forever ago now.
Yeah.
Is it harder to recruit or easier to recruit because you have 6 sports at Montana Tech, as opposed to, other schools in the frontier where they have 15 to 19 sports?
I think it's easy to recruit to Montana Tech because the relationships that you have with people on campus usually are pretty awesome.
Right.
We've got people that are professors on campus that when a recruit comes to visit, they say, hey, and here's my card, and here's my cell phone number if you have any questions about the program. That's something that you don't get anywhere else. And then Montana Tech athletics is growing, right? We've realized that we're pretty solid in the sports that we have, and we want to continue to offer kids more opportunities. So we're going to try and grow more sports. I mean, we've added cross country in the last year. Mm-hmm. We're going to be announcing, adding track and field soon, and then more sports will follow because kids are looking for opportunities. And I think this whole COVID thing will just make us a little bit more attractive to everyone who says, well, I was thinking about going to school on the East Coast. And I go, why would you go there? Right? Like,
why would you go to the West Coast?
It's a lot easier to, right. Why wouldn't you stay where you can be a couple hours away from mom and dad? You can drive home on a Saturday and have a home cooked meal.
Well, Sean, that depends on where you're at. I mean, you're from Great Falls. It was easy for you to get home. What if you're recruiting a kid from, Webo or Westby?
I tell you,
that's more than a couple hours.
If you're from Webo, you just take the interstate, and then eventually you're just going to hang a right and take an exit.
At some point, you're just going to
part about Butte, right? There's interstates everywhere. You can go any direction you want, and you're interstates the whole way.
Of course, if you're from Butte or from Webo, you're coming to Butte to play football, probably.
Yeah, you're a Webo Longhorn. You're used to hitting people.
Oh man, that is awesome. Hey, appreciate the time. I know it's you were running late. You're probably sitting there wondering, God, are you going to blow me off again today? Because I did Monday. I forgot all about you. But
oh, you're good. I was listening in. That was a fun conversation. As the sport that nobody wants to attend, I was all for hearing as many opinions as I could hear. So
hey, appreciate the time. And I know I say this every time we talk, but we still haven't gone golfing yet.
I know. Well, now that the kids are done playing, I can finally actually get out and play, not just tell them where to hit it.
I've got a tee time tomorrow around 9:50, and then 10 a.m. Friday, and I think 2 on Saturday. So,
we call that the life,
right? Well, when you work, I show up at 2 back to the home studio, and I do my prep, and then I'm on the air from 4 to 5, and then I put it up online. I'm usually done by 6. Like it's awesome.
That's gravy.
And we're running out of days to golf this year. Let's be honest. So I got to get out and enjoy it as much as possible in the mornings.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I mean, I had a recruit on campus this weekend, and it's 75 and sunny and dude. I'm like, yeah, it's like this every day.
Yeah.
And I may have that confused with San Diego, but I'm pretty sure it's like this every day.
Yeah, Butte, San Diego, very similar. I see it all the time. So, hey, appreciate it. Congratulations on a great fall season for the Texers, which is weird for me to say because for 7 years it was ingrained into me that you have to hate Tech. But right. I like there's some good coaches there. You got Coach Sampson. Got you and Coach Sampson.
Well, I jokingly told my players when we were heading up the Carroll College invite, which we won.
Just make sure you throw that in there.
Yeah, I said, what I hate more than Carroll. And they all kind of looked at me, and I was like, nothing. Make sure you go out and win today.
Wow,
you got to get that rivalry going in those youngins.
Being at Carroll for 7 years though, or working with them. I'm not a big fan of the color green. So Tech, Rocky.
Well, I won't let my wife wear purple, so we're even.
Where did she go to college?
She went to Montana State, so that was Craig one, that's all right.
I love your wife now. I mean, she's better than you. She went to Bozeman at least.
We knew that. Before the.
Well, yeah, you definitely. Hey, you know what? You did it. I've done it. Kyle Sampson did. We all outkicked our coverage.
Yep.
Or I guess outdrove our coverage or whatever. Yep. Yeah. You know what I mean.
Best thing she ever did was say yes, and so.
There you go. Hey man, appreciate it. Good luck. I can't wait to chat more. And seriously, one time. Okay, Chad at the club fixed my swing, so I'm golfing a lot better. Now you don't have an excuse. Well, he sucks. I'm not going out with him. I'm golfing better.
I love it.
I've dropped like 15 strokes off in the last month and a half.
There you go.
So
that's
there
huge.
you go. Yes, I know. I mean, I'm still shooting like 130, but no, I kid. It's not that high. I'm in double digits. I'm under 90 now.
Oh, that's huge.
I know.
That's the toughest jump you got to make.
Right? Now I just got to get to 70.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I need to break 80. Let's break 80. What's your
all about
best
setting goals and then achieving them?
What's your best score? Now you sound like a coach. What's your best score ever in one round?
65.
Okay.
65 is my low.
Where was that?
That was at the Butte Country Club a couple years back.
Okay.
I shot a handful of 67, 68, 66s, but
gotcha.
65 is the low.
Okay. My low is 81.
There you go. That's good low.
And that was 2 years ago. So, and I haven't golfed as much. I had a baby now.
If you're better than a bogey golfer, you're better than 90% of people who have ever swung a golf club. So.
Well, yeah, that's true. I'm loving it. So anyway, appreciate it. As I said, take care, stay safe, stay COVID free, and we'll golf at some point in the next year.
Awesome.
All right, man. That is
thanks so much.
Thanks, Coach. That is Sean Ryan joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. All right, whoever was trying to call can call back. We're done talking to the coach. We went a little long, but I do want to continue this conversation, if you want to, about what we've been talking about, and that is parents in Helena. And look, it's like Renee says, I'm okay with people individually getting removed from the game. If you're not able to abide by the rules, then leave. Parents are okay with that. I'm okay with that. You got 2 rules to follow, and I don't care if it comes from Drenda at the county health department. I don't know her. She has a job. Just like Tim McMahon, he has a job, okay? You have 2 rules as parents to follow, as fans, I'll say it, but as parents and fans at high school events, you have 2 rules. So wear a mask and social distance. That's all you got to do. All right, we're going to come back. We'll continue that conversation. We've got On This Day in History. We're still going to try to get Sam Herder on, get him in here. We're coming right back. Jason Walker Show. We are presented by Capital Collision Center. Just wear your mask.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Fall is officially here, and now is the perfect time to get your rig tuned up before the big hunt. That means a lift kit from Auto Concepts. An Auto Concepts lift kit will help take you places only the animals can go. And when you do get that big one, make sure you have help to get it home with a winch to pull it out. Or maybe you'll be a good friend and help pull someone out of the snowbank. Check out AutoConceptsHelena.com for more ideas. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918. Or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com. Jason Walker Show, presented by Capital Collision Center. If you have been in a wreck, Montana law says it's your choice where you have your vehicle repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. All right, look, we can continue this conversation if you'd like. If you want to call in, 209-1267. Renee, Tim has kicked people out. He has told me that on this show. I think it was some volleyball and maybe a sub-varsity football at least 3 weeks ago. But look, the complaints, whether they're anonymous or not, you know, I know for a fact one from September 14th, one from September 28th. So, you know, I get that we've had, you know, people being kicked out. And again, it comes down to this. You have two rules to follow. And don't look at it as, you know, it's my constitutional right, or it's not about the Constitution right now. Okay, nobody since the Constitution was written, nobody's dealt with this. The Spanish flu pandemic, nobody knew what the heck to do. And that was before we had all this major sports in high schools. This was before we had major sports, period. This was before we had social media 100 years ago. Nobody knows. But again, it comes down to two simple rules. Wear a mask and social distance. That's it. That's all you got to do. So we're going to continue the show because we are going to get to Sam Herder. And we'll talk to him for about 10 minutes. But if you want to continue this discussion, let me know. You can call in. You can Facebook. And again, I wasn't yesterday calling out every single parent that goes to a game or a match. Okay? It's that small minority that is going to ruin it for the kids. And like Jamie Bright called earlier, look, that's fantastic. Like, yeah, like I told her, I'm about the kids. I don't give a rip about the parents. Now, is it great to have a support system? Abso-freaking-lutely. But the parents aren't playing the games. The parents are not playing the games. And there's a select few, Doug, that like to think that they're, I don't know if they wear their Letterman's jackets to Applebee's and relive the game, their glory days like Bruce Springsteen. But all the parents, 99.9 whatever percent, are doing a hell of a job. Following the rules, making sure others are following the rules, and all of that. But it's that small minority that's going to ruin it. Okay? Trey Lance is leaving North Dakota State after 17 games. Won a national championship last year. Well, actually it was in January, but last season with the Bison, and decided he's going pro. He is a sophomore. Joining us now to chat about that is Hero Sports FCS guru, Sam Herder. And we'll take more calls if you choose to continue this discussion about parents in Helena or anywhere. Call into the show. Let's go. But Sam Herder joining us now on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. First off, how's things going in the Midwest for you?
Yeah, it's all right. I'm in the Minneapolis area, so kind of laying low for the most part. And in the FCS world, things are pretty slow this fall, but we do have some FCS teams in action, so I've been paying attention to that and been tracking. One by one, these FCS conferences have come out with their spring football formats. I've been tracking that as well. But, just a little bit more slower pace of life this fall compared to last fall.
It's a lot different without all the major football going on right now. Sam Herder, our guest here, Jason Walker Show. All right, when you look at, let's start with the big news first, and then we'll talk about some of these games that have played. But Trey Lance, the sophomore quarterback, well, he's only going to play one game, it seems, as a sophomore at North Dakota State, as he declared for the draft yesterday. Thoughts?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised overall by the decision. I didn't expect it, I guess, to come this soon, just a few days after the one-time game against Central Arkansas. But ultimately, when you're looked at as a top 3 quarterback, potentially a top 10 NFL draft pick, I think everyone realized that chances were pretty high that Lance was going to declare early for the draft. I think just with where his stock is at right now, and how it's has been rising heading into this season, and just to set yourself up financially, and kind of just take care of you and your family, take care of your future. I would find it hard to picture anyone arguing against Lance's decision to declare early. There are some, he may have had some small reasons to stay another season and declare for the 2022 draft because he potentially could have been quarterback one in the following year's draft. But you never know with football. Freak injuries can happen. So where he's positioned at right now in the draft, his decision didn't surprise me at all to declare early.
Is his stock still as high though? He threw an interception the other day. He hadn't done that since his high school years.
Yeah, no, I don't think that one-time game did anything to his draft stock. He obviously didn't help his draft stock because that was, not one of his better games, and he looked pretty shaky in the first half there. But ultimately, scouts and GMs, they're not going to overanalyze that one game. They're going to look at, just his raw talent, his raw ability. They'll look at his film altogether, and really what's going to either make him rise or stay the same or fall is the pre-draft process. How he looks at his pro day, how he looks at the combine, private workouts that teams will put him through, and just when they put him up on the whiteboard or turn some film on and ask what he sees and what he would do in this situation. That's really where Trey Lance is going to rise or fall. It's not going to be this Saturday's game, in my opinion. I think it's just his raw abilities and his football knowledge is where he'll rise or fall, or maybe he'll just stay the same and be quarterback 3, which is just a fine spot to be as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Is he ready? Your eyes. You've seen him in person. I haven't. I've seen him on TV. He looks flashy. He looks great. The dude is solid, and he's big. He's a great quarterback. Is he ready for the NFL?
I guess I can't say for sure, obviously, but I would say he's probably more ready than a lot of other quarterbacks. Obviously, he doesn't have a whole lot of game reps, but I believe I want to say he's played 17 games, and Carson Wentz played 23 games in his NDSU career or something like that. So, he doesn't have a whole lot of less playing experience than Carson Wentz, but obviously Carson was a fifth-year senior coming out of NDSU. But I think just with NDSU system that they run, it's very pro-friendly. He makes checks at the line of scrimmage. He checks down to the run game. He changes pass protection with the offensive line depending on what he sees pre-snap. You compare that to FBS quarterbacks that play in a system where they go to the line of scrimmage up top in the press box. The coaches look at the defense, and then the quarterback looks to the sideline and gets his audible from there. Those type of quarterbacks, they usually don't translate well to the NFL right away, just because there's so much pre-snap knowledge that they don't have or are not used to. And Trey Lance does have all those things, and I think he has the physical tools. I think he has the mental makeup. I think NDSU prepared him well for the pros. Earlier today, I saw he's going to turn 21 in May, so he's obviously a really young guy. He's a mature guy overall, but he's young, so we'll see if he's how he does as a rookie. I would imagine the best situation would be for him to sit behind a veteran quarterback, but we all know if you're a quarterback taken in the top 10, that organization is going to want you to play sooner or later. Mm-hmm. So we'll see exactly how he does his rookie year. But I think overall, just with how NDSU runs things, that probably makes up for the fact that he hasn't played a whole lot of college football games, and that he's only 20 years old right now. He can't even go out and buy himself a beer.
Not legally. Sam Herder joining us, Hero Sports FCS guru. Sam, when you look at NDSU in the last 10 years, Carson Wentz, Trey Lance, the list goes on, and he would be the third quarterback drafted now in the last couple of years or few years for NDSU. Is that right?
Yeah, he would be the third straight guy that's drafted. Carson Wentz, number 2 a few years ago. Then last year, Easton Stick was taken in the 5th or 6th round. So he'd be the third straight. Yep.
Impressive. And people say, well, NDSU is going to take a step back. And people have said that after the guy before Wentz. They said it after Wentz. They said it after Stick. I mean, and now they're going to say it after Lance. But NDSU just reloads.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think in the spring season, a lot of people might think that the FCS playing field has leveled up with Trey Lance, and I don't think that's the case. I don't think it's leveled up. Obviously, the gap between NDSU and everyone else has shrunk. I mean, that's just going to happen when you lose a first-round talent at the quarterback position. But I don't think just because Trey Lance is gone that all of a sudden NDSU is on the same level playing field as the Montana schools and Weber State and South Dakota State, Northern Iowa, James Madison, and on and on and on. I still do think NDSU is the clear-cut favorite to win the national championship. I mean, they still have their offensive line besides Dylan Radins is going to be intact. Their defense, I mean, NDSU's defense is always going to be it's probably not going to be dominant in the spring, but it's still going to be a top 5 FCS defense. All the running backs and tight ends and wide receivers are still there, and the guy that's stepping in at quarterback is most likely going to be Zeb Noland, who's a fifth-year senior. He plans to come back in the fall of 2021 as a sixth-year senior. So he has, 2 seasons left, the spring and the fall. He's an Iowa State transfer that came into NDSU in 2019. He battled Trey Lance for the starting job, which obviously Lance won that battle. So Zeb Noland was number 2, but I mean, Nolan, he played some games. He started some games at Iowa State. He played against Oklahoma a few years ago, threw for over 350 yards against Oklahoma. I realize Oklahoma's defense is not all that great, but it's still, putting up, gaudy numbers against a top 5 team at that time. So, I mean, I don't think, NDSU won't be as dominant and as good since Trey Lance is leaving. That much is obvious, but there still are the top team in the FCS, and I would still take NDSU over the field right now, just because by all accounts, this Zeb Nolan guy has a great arm. He might not be a mobile guy quite like a Easton Stick or a Trey Lance, but by all accounts, he's got a great strong arm and an accurate arm. So NDSU should be just fine in the spring and in the fall of 2021. It
worked pretty well for Carson Wentz. I mean, he's not real mobile. We look at it. I mean, he's injury prone in the NFL. And who was before him? Why can't I think of the guy's name?
That was Brock Jensen. He was a 4-year starter. And he didn't get drafted, but he did sign an undrafted free agent deal with Miami. And then ultimately didn't make the team and played a few years in the CFL. So, I mean, you can go back even further and say it's been 4 straight NDSU quarterbacks now that will get a shot in the NFL and play professional football.
Unbelievable. It's just, and everybody thinks NDSU, they think of their defense. I mean, we never hear of these guys on the NFL that are on rosters that played NDSU defense, but it's always the quarterback that gets all the publicity, as we all know. But this kid's good. And will it hurt him, though, Sam, in your eyes, to not, I mean, he played 1 game this fall, and then he's not going to play again potentially until maybe 2021 at the earliest in the fall in the NFL. I mean, he's essentially going to have 2 years off.
Right. And even, you even saw against Central Arkansas, that was his first game action in a handful of months. Usually, obviously, in a normal year, NDSU's first game would have been at the start of September instead of the start of October. And so he had extended time off there. And, there's no denying the fact that he looked a little rusty and he wasn't as accurate in the first half against that game. So, yeah, kind of going back to what I said, I don't know. We'll see where exactly he goes in the draft and who drafts him. But to trot him out there game 1 of the 2021 NFL season as a 21-year-old, I don't think that would put him in a great position. So, for Lance's sake, hopefully he does go to a team that has a veteran on the roster so he can maybe sit for a year. That was that's what the Eagles want to do with Carson Wentz. And then ultimately, I think they traded Sam Bradford and threw Carson into the fire. But Carson is 3 years older. Carson was 3 years older as a rookie than Trey Lance will be right now, I believe. So I think his game, his talent does translate well to the NFL. He's back in 2015, 2016, Carson Wentz was a prototypical NFL quarterback, a 6'6" guy with a a strong arm. But now, Lance's playing style is almost, I would compare it to Patrick Mahomes as far as his mobility and strong arm and making throws on the run. So I do think his game translates well to the NFL. He's just so dang young and inexperienced where, maybe he goes to a bad situation and that he just can't overcome that. So, hopefully for his sake, obviously he finds a good situation and can have a long and healthy NFL career.
Well, it's been fun to watch a couple of the games this year, and it just feels weird because without the Big Sky playing, it doesn't feel like we're actually playing football yet. And I know that's selfish, but it's kind of true. And for you, I guess, for the Missouri Valley, I mean, they're not completely playing a game either. So full schedule anyway. It's just weird. It's just a weird fall.
Yeah, it is weird. I considered covering the NDSU versus Central Arkansas game and making the 3-hour drive to Fargo, but ultimately decided not to, and kind of glad I didn't, just because I heard the environment was just weird. And I mean, NDSU did their typical AC/DC tunnel walk and run out, and they raised the national championship banner, but there was only, I think, 300 people in the stadium, and that was all friends and or just family members, and so it just in kind of an awkward, empty stadium feel to it. So it's been, weird, just a weird year. But hopefully at least by the fall of 2021, things are back normal, and then hopefully the spring season we make some good progress in this country. We get some luck our way in this country and have some good progress where maybe we can have. I mean, we're not going to have 100% full Montana State stadiums, but maybe, 40 to 50% capacity just to get some money coming in for these FCS programs. So hopefully we're at that point in the spring.
Hopefully. And hopefully you and I get to talk about actual games in the Big Sky and the Missouri Valley and other conferences across the nation in the spring. I'm not sold we're going to have a spring season yet, so hopefully that happens.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think the COVID climate will play a big part in that. The testing, how much testing will be, that'll play a big factor in it as well. But conferences are all on board right now to play in the spring, and there's a spring format. So I'm optimistic, but we'll see where we're at in the spring and see if football games can happen. Well,
enjoy your Saturdays for the first time in a long time, as much as you can. I know. The other one, your better half, is probably enjoying the fact that you're not glued to a television for 15 hours a day on Saturdays.
Yeah, usually it's a full day on Saturdays watching games for 4 or 10 hours. So, I think I said earlier that it's been a lot slower fall than what it usually is.
Well, I appreciate you joining me on short notice, man. And when anything breaks in the FCS, you're my go-to. I appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate that, and thanks for having me on the show.
Sam Herder joining us, Jason Walker Show. Thanks to the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. And, there you have it. Trey Lance going to the FCS and, or to the NFL. And look, he's played 1 year. And as good as he was that 1 year last year, we'd have unbelievable. I mean, he didn't throw an interception last year. Like 40-some touchdowns. I mean, this kid he's really good, but he's a kid. So I wish the best for him. He's a heck of an athlete. And by all accounts, a fantastic young kid. So good luck. All right. Thanks to Sam Herder joining us. Thanks to Sean Ryan joining us as well. All right. So if anybody wants to continue, we'll continue this discussion on parents in Helena. I did see today that Big Fork and Anaconda game for this week for Friday night was canceled or postponed and moved to next week because of a surge in positive COVID-19 cases and close contacts in the Anaconda School District. More than 20 staff members at Anaconda had either tested positive or were considered a close contact. They're back in remote learning for 2 weeks, started Monday. That's according to the Montana Standard. All fall sports are also on a 2-week hiatus. The high school volleyball team is under quarantine in Anaconda, and several football players identified as close contacts. Duh. So that game has been rescheduled for next Friday. Anaconda still will host. We'll see. Whitefish girls soccer against Polson was canceled because there's an individual, and we talked about this on Monday. A Pirates soccer team member on the girls tested positive for COVID. The individual was on a school bus with the soccer team, and a number of the team members were to put on quarantine. However, they did play, majority of the team played Saturday in a 10-0 win over Libby. So, there you go. What else got canceled? Rocky Mountain College Cross Country Invitational Meet's been canceled. School announced it today. The decision made based on safety concerns for student athletes, coaches, and support staff, according to the press release. Glendive and Laurel football has been canceled. Glendive's home game against Laurel, scheduled for Friday, has been postponed because of at least one COVID case at Dawson County High. That's according to Laurel coach Mike Ludwig, who is not sure if or when the game's even going to be made up. He told 406mtsports.com, quote, "I don't know what's going to happen. It's starting to get ugly." Glendive also postponed last week's game at Billings Central because a football player tested positive. According to Billings Central coach Jim Stanton, they've proposed to make up the game on October 20th. It's a Tuesday, but Glendive hasn't gotten back. The Central Glendive game last week was one of at least 12 to be postponed or canceled. And there's already 5 this week. We mentioned Big Fork and Anaconda, but Wolf Point at Conrad is canceled, Hart Butte at North Star, Bozeman at Belgrade, and Butte Central at Browning. But it's going to be safe to get through the whole season? Look, you got to take it game by game. I get it. It's a cliche, but that's where we're at. All right, let's do On This Day in History. And if anybody still wants to get a hold of us and talk about it, we can. Today is October the 7th. It is National Pumpkin Seed Day. It is Walk to School Day, Inner Beauty Day, LED Light Day, Coffee with a Cop Day, and Chocolate Covered Pretzel Day. 1916, Georgia Tech defeats Cumberland 222-0, the most lopsided score in the history of college football. 1922, the first radio link for the World Series. 1923, Yankees' Everett Scott ran his consecutive game streak to 1,138. He would get passed by Lou Gehrig. 1984, Walter Payton passed Jim Brown as the NFL's career rushing leader. 1985, Lynette Woodward chosen as the first woman for the Harlem Globetrotters. A couple of deaths. 1849, Edgar Allan Poe died on this date. He was 40. He's also considered the inventor of the detective fiction genre. Willis Carrier died on this date in 1950. He invented or developed the modern air conditioner. We owe him a lot. 1956, Clarence Birdseye died. Who? He was an inventor. He also founded the modern frozen food industry. Birdseye. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. Nobody else wants to come on and talk. All right, that's fine. We appreciate Sue Hall's Bannon joining us, cheer coach at Capital. There are no cheerleaders at the game tonight for Capital. Also, Jamie Sparing Bright for joining us. And, yeah, appreciate it. We can continue this discussion literally anytime on the show. The number is on the Facebook page. I've given it out. And would love to hear from other parents. Now, get it. Like I said, I get it. It's not all parents in Helena screwing it up. It's a small percentage. But that small percentage is going to screw it up for the kids and everybody else. Let's do this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
Walk-Off is brought to you by Cafe Zydeco. Breakfast served all day, and you can get it at 625 Euclid. Beignets. Stop by. Also in Bozeman and Billings. All right, before we go, I want listen, again, you have 2 rules to follow, okay? 2 rules. You have to wear a mask, and you have to social distance. And that's statewide. I don't care about numbers. I don't care about, oh, we only get 250 folks. I don't care. If you follow the rules, then that's it. In fact, here, watch this.
A moment ago, you said that you ordered Lieutenant Kendrick to tell his men that Santiago wasn't to be touched.
That's right.
And Lieutenant Kendrick was clear on what you...
Crystal.
Any chance Lieutenant Kendrick ignored the order?
Ignored the order?
Any chance he forgot about it?
No.
Any chance Lieutenant Kendrick left your office and said, the old man is wrong?
No.
When Lieutenant Kendrick spoke to the platoon and ordered them not to touch Santiago, any chance they ignored him?
You ever served in an infantry unit, son?
No, sir.
Ever served in a forward area?
No, sir.
Ever put your life in another man's hands? Asked him to put his life in yours?
No, sir.
We follow orders, son. We follow orders or people die. It's that simple.
That is from A Few Good Men. And again, you have 2 orders to follow, folks. 2. Wear a mask, social distance. I feel like Tom Cruise in that. And the parents that are being morons, and again, it's a small percentage, not all, because people can't decipher that apparently. But the small percentage of parents that are being complete morons are like Jack Nicholson. Well, actually, no, they're not. Those are the good parents. We follow rules or people die. My wife and I had this all planned out, and I've already forget what she told me. But I'm Tom Cruise in that scenario. Okay? And look, and Tim McMahon as the activities director would be like the guys that are on trial. Hal and the other kid. Because they're just there to follow orders. And that's what McMahon's doing. He's telling you, and then the bad parents are the Lieutenant Kendrick, who ordered the code red after Jack Nicholson's character, the Colonel Jessup did. So anyway. Oh, I love this. Look, again, I'll apologize to the parents that are being good from yesterday, okay? You're not all jackwagons. And again, I wish you could decipher the meaning, or what I said was there's a small percentage of parents that are going to ruin it for everybody, and parents are being selfish. And I had Jamie on, I had Sue on earlier, and they agreed with the fact that, look, there's parents that said, and they both heard what I heard too. We'll do whatever it takes to have our kids have a season if that means we can't attend in person. And then when you were able to attend, or when that was the rule, then you lost your minds. And that is a lot of the parents, not the small percentage. And then once parents were allowed, well, then it wasn't good enough. Well, then, of course, you had, the governor's family breaking rules as well. But just follow the rules. You follow rules or people die. Literally. Get kicked out. But you could literally die. Here's the big thing with the walk-off. All those that believe the rules are infringing on their rights. Here you go. You ready for this? I don't care, for one. Again, like I said earlier, nobody's dealt with this before. After the Constitution was written, there's been nothing like this. If you want to have 4,000 people at a concert just outside of town, fine, whatever. It's your rights. Nobody's infringing on your right, okay? And those that believe that, you either A, haven't had COVID, B, you haven't had someone close to you have COVID, or C, you've been lucky enough to either have a mild case or someone close to you had a mild case. And I don't believe for one instant, look, there's a lot of false negatives and a lot of false positive tests out there. I was talking to a guy about a month ago who said he felt, and we've heard this, right? I've had it. I know I had it in February or January or March. I know I had it. But then when you have an antibody test and it comes out negative, I had a guy actually tell me that he doesn't believe it. He thinks the nurses, quote, screwed it up. They don't screw up drawing blood. And with flu season coming out, look, and I've told you this before, since March. I'm not about the fear porn. Okay, I'm not. I speak the facts. And COVID right now is running rampant in the state of Montana. 733 new cases today. That's more than 200 over the record set yesterday. Montana is averaging this week more cases per day than New York. And we all know how well that governor handled the pandemic. You have two rules. And follow them. Wear a mask and social distance. And for the majority of the 99.9% of parents, thank you. But for that small percentage, quit screwing it up. We read Kieran Boyle, the cross-country athlete for Capital. We read his quote yesterday. His tweet when he said, if you're doing this and showing up illegally, spectating, stop, please. Just wear a mask, social distance, and follow the rules. You're going to get mad at a high school kid for saying the exact same damn thing I did? Just wear a mask. I don't like to do it, but it's the rule, okay? You got to wear it. I have to wear it to the doctor's office. I got to wear it to the store. Take it off when you get in your car. Take it off when you get home. There's nothing wrong with taking your mask off when you get to your house. Literally. I don't care if you live in Helena or live in the White House. You can take your mask off when you get home. Yeah, that might have been a little dig there at national media. All right. Sean Ryan, thank you. Sam Herder, thank you. Tomorrow, Nicole Rigoni back. That's what she said. Friday, great show coming up too. But tomorrow, that's what she said. Nicole Rigoni. We'll talk some more NFL. I'm sure tomorrow we'll get some more picks and a whole lot more. We'll find out how her vacation went too. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 4. Go to jasonwalkershow.com. You can tweet, you can email, you can Facebook anytime. Call the show tomorrow too, please.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.